Hey everyone, is everyone able to hear and see me clearly? I forgot to click go live, right? So I think I was talking to myself for like 2 minutes. Yeah. You just give it another minute to test out the audio and video connection. Ensure that everyone's able to hear me and see me clearly. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good stuff. I just see stream health should be good. All right, good. Let me drop a message to the Telegram chat saying that we are online. We're live rather. Okay, it's the first time that we're doing it on the IC Markets Global YouTube channel, right? So we might, I think some people might not know. They might have thought that it was on the IC Markets AU YouTube channel, right? So viewers, hopefully I see some of my usual viewers today, right? But I think quite a number of people might have forgotten that it's on the other side. But no worries, Signal Mark, nice to see you here, right? Advocate too, right? I remember you guys. But yeah, today's session will be fun. I saw a request earlier to look at some other instruments. I'm not sure if the guy's still around here, but yeah, let's begin today's session, right? It's our usual pre-market live analysis, right? So we're actually tuning in before the market opens just to see what are the key setups to look out for the week and the key fundamentals to look out for the week. All right. So it's for those of you guys who have been attending my sessions every week, we got a pretty decent hit rate. I say some hit rates, some weeks
I'm
we got,
listening.
some weeks we have like 80 or 90%, right? Some weeks we got 60 to 70%, but yeah, otherwise quite good. Yeah, gold worked out quite nicely, right? So yes, I will be taking a look at gold. I usually take a look at some of the majors, right? I look fundamentals, quick glance through fundamentals first, right? Then after that, we look at the majors, and we'll take custom requests. So if you have a request for me on a particular instrument you'd like me to take a look at, let me know. I'll do my best to get to it, right? But yeah, try to send in your requests early because we rarely ever have the time to really go through all of them, right? So if you send them in earlier, I'll try to prioritize them towards while I'm covering all the other sessions. No, while I'm covering all the other instruments. All right. Now, if you're here, please say hi. All right. And also which country you're tuning in from. I think if you're from Singapore, like me, it's 4 a.m. here, right? So, not sure is it good morning or is it good night here. I mean, the sky is still dark, so we could say it probably we're probably closer to we're right smack in the middle between night and day. So, for me, it's probably a good night here, right? But for most of you guys, it should be in London or Europe, right? So yeah, it could be about evening there. So let me know where you're tuning in from, right? And if you have anyone tuning in from Australia, even better, right? I think that it'll be about 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. there, right? But yeah, let's begin today's session. All right, I'll just continue on while we wait for other people to stream in. Okay. Remember, disclaimer: everything in this webinar is educational in nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. All right. Okay. And oh, it's 10 p.m. in South Africa. I think it's perfect timing, right before you sleep, right? Just get a good chance to look at the charts before you knock off for the day, right? Let me know if the yeah, let me know if my audio and video quality is okay. Because last week we had some difficulties. Every now and then that the video quality seems to be lagging. So let me know, and I will keep an eye on the connection quality. All right. Okay, you got guys on Germany, right, and Nigeria, right? Yeah. So it's a pretty good timing for you guys, right? You can wind down with some whiskey, right? Before you, while looking at charts, that's the dream, right? Just looking at whiskey and charts. Although most of the time, it might not be a good combination, right? might start making you make really erratic trading decisions. All right. So yeah, disclaimer as usual, guys. Remember, agenda for today. This is what we usually cover: the key news events, right? Analysis on the majors, and then the custom requests. So custom requests, like I said, send yours in nice and early. I'll do my best to get to them. Right. Hey Watson, nice to see you here again. Yamilu, nice to see that you got the message. Tuning in here. I think we might have lost some people in the transition, moving it from the other YouTube channel to this YouTube channel. So if you know where they are, right, or hang out together, just let them know, right? Yes, this session is held on the global channel, right? Really strong feeling. Some of them kind of forgot. Yeah. Anyway, let's begin today's session. All right. Hey model. Right. Watson, Yamilu, nice for you guys to join us. Let's rock and roll in today's session. For those of you guys who are wondering who is this guy, right? Introducing your host. My name is Desmond Leong. I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group and also the Forex Army, right? We're finalists for 2019, 2020, and 2021 for Best FX and Best Equity Research. Oh, I can use this. Yeah, Best FX and Best Equity Research. Usually work with many of the major banks, brokers, and hedge funds on letting them know where the markets are heading. But we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we are bringing you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take our trading to the next level. Right, I've been doing webinars and analysis for IC Markets for the past couple of years. Right, so one way or another, you might have seen us around. Okay, it's either me or you have my team, Peggy, Ketan, Melanie, all jumping in to do the webinars. Okay, right. You want to find me on Instagram? You can follow me on Comfy Desmond. Nothing much over there. Just me, my cat, right beside me now, right, and my kid and my wife. Yeah, oops, almost forgot. Right, and none of the fancy stuff. Right. If you want to find some of the stuff that I like to create, some of my guides that I created, indicators, you can find it over at the Forex Army. Okay. Now we will begin today's session. All right, I want to encourage you guys that anytime you have questions, feel free to send it through. Right. Hey Clinton, nice for you tuning in from Uganda. All right. So I like to keep my fundamentals nice and short. Right. A quick recap. Last week, 3 major central bank announcements. Right. Fed, ECB, and Bank of Japan. Right. So this it covered the few things. Right. So we had the US inflation data and the PC price index. All right. So those were the late news. I think that happened about Friday. I will just highlight the key points over here. Okay, I put it down in point form from the feedback that you guys gave me, so that's easier for us to power through. But you don't need to read everything, right? Just need to take note that the Fed basically raised the interest rate by 25 basis points to 5.5%. This is, of course, the highest level in 22 years, right? And of course, it is the 11th time that the Fed has been raising rates since March. All right. So, important point to take note is that we had Chairman Jerome Powell, kind of emphasize, that that policymakers will be dependent on incoming data, right, to determine future monetary policy action, right. So this kind of keep the possibility of further rate hikes open, right. So this is the thing, it keeps the possibility of further rate hikes open. I know every time they raise hikes higher and higher and higher, right, it seems that it will never stop, but it has continued to do that, right? And it says that also because that there's been a recent data indicated a resilient economy and labor market. That's why the job market is doing pretty good. The economy is doing pretty good. That's why it continues to increase interest rates. All right, don't worry too much about the DXY, right? But the advanced US GDP estimate, okay, this one not too important. PC price index, which is used to measure inflation, was also released on Friday, 28 July, right? It actually dropped. So important thing here is dropped to 3.3%, down from 3.8. So it dropped from 3 to 3.8, while the other one went from 4.6 to 4.1. So what does that mean for inflation? It has dropped. Good, right? So because this is the first meaningful drop in the core readings, highlights the strong disinflationary trends in US, right? But then again, right, it's a good thing that because the first meaningful drop, right? We've been trying to bring inflation down for the longest time, and finally, we seem to be turning a corner. So they say that further declines, in the coming month could very well signal the return of inflation to its 2% target, right? Key things to take note is that what we expect for the US dollar, right? Falling inflation will cause weakness in the US dollar, but robust economic growth is likely to pull it up. So we could be seeing seesaw kind of price action in the coming months. All right, so something to take note from a fundamental perspective. Now, EU, we're going to keep it simple. All right, I know I've seen what happened last week for EU, right? Kind of raised its main refinancing rate from by 25 basis points to 4.25%, right? They're still trying to bring inflation down to the 2% target, right? But very importantly, she mentioned that the ECB is open to a pause in September. And this actually sent dovish waves throughout the whole market for the euro, right? So, when USD increasing, euro weakening, euro was hit hard during the US session on the 27th. So if you remember, EU dropped a little bit further than we kind of expected it to. It bounced off our second support though. So that's still a good thing. Daniel, nice for you to tune into. All right. Okay, so the next thing, lastly, for what happened last week, just a quick recap on last week. All right. BOJ, right, released their monetary policy statement, right? Okay, not the monetary policy statement, 20 July. Okay, so they kept their interest rate at negative 0.1% and will continue to maintain its that 10-year JGBU at 0%. But now the important thing is that they now plan to control the 10-year JGBU flexibly and then adjust the yield curve, right, to allow the rates to go above 0.5%. So this was a big reason why you saw yen, there's like a lot of volatility in yen, right? Because it accentuated scrambling for yen, caused serious risk to the yen carry trade, right? So you can actually saw, initially it surged past 101, then it reversed nearly 300 pips, go all the way down to 138.1, all right? This week, here are the few main things to take note of, right? It's just a single slide over here because I don't want to waste so much time. Not that I want to waste so much time, right? I don't want to spend too much time on fundamentals. We have a lot of technicals to cover today, okay? Few things to take note of, right, on Monday, right, which is tomorrow for most of you guys, right? China will be releasing its composite PMI numbers, right? So, this is actually more or less the manufacturing activity for the last 3 months, right? And another contraction is expected. Negative effect on crude oil prices, right? So that's the first thing. This week, kicking off the week, we should be expecting a little bit of a negative effect on crude oil prices already. So that's on WTI. All right. Why is that a sluggish Chinese economy does not bode well for commodity prices, especially for crude oil, which is a major user of, sorry, right? Then over that, we got the RBA. It's gonna announce its cash rate statement on 1st of August. If I'm not wrong, that's tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. That's the day after. Tomorrow for me, the day after for most people. And the whole rate steady at 4.1%, right? And with Aussie inflation continuing to rise, the RBA has some leg room to hold rates for the third time this year. Okay. Then we have BOE, right, making its own bank rate announcement on Thursday, 3rd of August. They could keep rates steady at 5%, as inflation in the UK is also retreating quite well. All right, over to the US at the end, right? The most anticipated economic event is on Friday, 4th of August, non-farm payroll, right? We're expected another 209,000 jobs, right? With the unemployment rate aging lower to 3.6%, right? So please take note of this, right? If we have another round of robust employment figures, we could see dollar start to rise. Okay, these are the key news events for the week for you to take note of. Okay, let me just how do I end show over here? All right. Yes, there we go. Okay, And I'm going to log, sorry, I just need to log in really quick to my trading view over here. Okay. All right. So we can look through some charts together. And one of the other things that I like to do, right? One of the other things that I like to do, hey Gilbert, nice to see you here. I was wondering whether you guys were like heading over to the other YouTube channel, right? Because I think a couple of you guys went over to the other YouTube channel. So yeah, from today onwards, the sessions will be from here, right? The sessions will be from here. So please take note of that, right? Let me save this thing. Oh man, let me close this thing. Sorry. Okay. So what I like to do always is to head over to here, our main YouTube, right? And of course, last week was on AU. We got playlists, pre-market analysis, and it was on 23rd of July, right? I'm going to maximize this so we can just easily toggle. And of course, right, some of the key things that we were covering last week. All right, so what we do here, a little bit differently from every other market analysis that you see out there, is that we like to toggle. Oh wait, just let me check something. Are you guys? Okay, I just checking. All right, all right. I think I was looking at the wrong timing. Okay, I just okay. The video is working correctly. For a moment, I thought we froze again. So what we like to do is we like to look at the analysis that we did last week and see how we did. All right. Usually, like I mentioned, we got a pretty decent hit rate, close to 70-80%. This week, I see it's closer to 60%. We still got quite a number of levels correct, right? I'll just zoom in like that. We started off what's this? A Bitcoin, calling for the drop for Bitcoin all the way to 27,800. All right, so just let me close this off first. 27,800 this week. It has been working quite well, right? We were forecasting the drop like this last week, right? And price has continued to drop, all right? Importantly, it broke this very key level, all right? If you can see, we highlighted this level over here, right? Which was a very strong overlap level, right? If I'm not wrong, it's also closer to 23% retracement. It has broken that level and it's starting to drop. So in this case, it's starting to drop here. This week, this was a key level, right? A lot of reactions of this level, right? You can see price responding to this level a long time. So now that it has finally been broken, right, we should see a pretty nice and clear drop to this ascending support line over here. So the view for crypto in general, because Bitcoin is the main mover, right, is for it to be bearish. So this will now be our first resistance. And up here, I'm going to delete a whole bunch of stuff up here. This will now, I believe there's a reason why we actually go for the back. Oh, magnet mode. So this was the reason why we're highlighting a higher level. But if you actually drag further back, right, the most immediate resistance that you'll be seeing if prices were to spike up will be up here at the second resistance here. Okay, so yeah, we won't need to stretch it too far, right? We are expecting a drop all the way down to forecasting a drop all the way down to the first support over here. Okay, are you guys able to is my connection quality okay? Just let me reboot my OBS, right? Because I have a feeling that the connection quality is a little bit wonky. Okay, guys, I'm back again. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see and hear me? Okay, good, good. All right. If it lags again, let me know. I sometimes I play around with the output settings. Right. Hopefully it's a little bit better now. We might not be at 1080, you might be at 720, but you guys should still be able to see the charts pretty well. Okay. But yeah, so the forecast for this week at least is Bitcoin continuing to drop. Right. So that sets the tone, right? That sets the tone for a lot of crypto. Which means that for Ethereum, we should be expecting a drop too, but I'm still a little bit wary. Nice bit of support here, nice bit of resistance here. Last week, we were highlighting this as a support level, and price held very nicely. Right? I don't think we have I don't think we yeah I'll skip the Ethereum analysis because there's not much movement, right? It has continued to hold well above here, so we'll continue to we're using Bitcoin as the instrument with a little bit more what's the word for it, a little bit more clarity, right? If there's any risk level, I'm just gonna put this as the intermediate support level, right? Yeah, at this 28473 level. Might be quite hard for some of you guys to see, so just let me tweak the status line. No, sorry, skills. Is it skills? No. There must be a way to increase the size because even my eyes are. Yep, I'm going to increase it 16. Okay. Yeah, so it's slightly bigger for you guys to see on the side. All right, so that's the view on Bitcoin. Kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week. Crypto should be seeing a little bit of bearishness push prices lower. Okay, that's the tone for the week. Now, on to the next thing, right? DXY didn't really work out as nicely as we initially thought. It still respected our descending resistance line, and I think it rose and tested our second resistance instead of our first resistance before dropping. So DXY, you can see, right, we initially thought it's going to drop over here, but it wasn't the case, right? One of the rare times that we didn't get, not, I say we're 50-50 in DXY because it did rise to the second resistance. It did test the pullback resistance. It did test the this descending trend line, and it seems to be reacting quite nicely from there. So this view would be easier for me right now. So my view is that this should be the first resistance, and this should set the tone for the rest of the week. A little bit of DXY weakness over here. Okay. Also worth showing that the Ichimoku cloud, it price continues to hold quite nicely below the Ichimoku cloud, right? It won't be a key part of our analysis, right? The descending resistance line would be one of the key parts of our analysis, and price is testing the 61.8 retracement of this move here. Okay. So ideally, we should be seeing prices drop quite nicely from here. Okay, in that sense, we could be seeing prices drop all the way down to our first support over here. I won't be too ambitious to play the move too far away, right? Because I think the first key support that price should drop all the way down to is over here, down here. Okay, this should be enough for the week, with a risk of an intermediate support over here. With a risk of an intermediate support level over here. All right. For the life of me, I have no idea why. I think it might be lagging a little bit for you guys again. I have no idea why YouTube. My internet is perfectly fine. Just randomly, it yeah, the internet speed is fine. Let me run a quick internet speed test. Yeah, my speed is fast. Just let me check, right? I see YouTube giving us problems again. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I have a ridiculous download upload speed, as you guys can see over here. So it's a little bit funny that YouTube seems to be saying that there's a little bit of a connection problem. All right. Let me just tweak the settings one. Hey, can you guys hear me and see me one more time? Sorry about the internet issues, right? But I can see that yeah, the download speed and the upload speed of my internet is actually really good, right? So I'm not sure why YouTube is seems to be giving this bunch of lagging errors. Yeah, but are you guys able to hear and see me? Okay. All right. Yeah, my internet is really okay, honestly, right? I think I ran an internet speed test for everyone to see, right? It's honestly the internet speed at 500, 600 Mbps for download, and I think it's about 3 or 400 Mbps for upload is really fast, right? So no idea why we are seeing any reason for price, no, for the internet connection issues though. My only suspect is it could be a YouTube thing. All right, so let's hope it resolves itself over time. Now, yeah, so for DXY, the key idea here, guys, is that we should be expecting a drop on DXY. Okay, DXY weakness. All right, so that would set the tone for a lot of the other instruments we're looking at. Euro dollar, right? Euro dollar, we are expecting a bounce, right? So we're expecting a bounce above first or second support over here, anywhere rather. Euro dollar. Just let me filter it with a view on pound dollar, okay? I just need to pause this, yeah. Yeah, so let me give it a second. A bit risky. Yeah, so we're expecting a bounce above the first support or the second support level over here, right? It actually went all the way down to our second support where it seems to be testing it a bit, okay? What is the view this week, right? The view is a lot clearer, that we should be able to see a bounce from the first support level. As you can see, where we should be expecting a bounce from the first support over here. Price is lining up really nicely with the ascending support, right? And it is, if I'm not wrong, is testing a 61.8 retracement over here, right? It's testing a 61.8 retracement, and also it could be a big 50 or 38%, right? Yeah, 38 and 50% is right about over here. So a lot of nice reasons why we might see a little bounce, right? You can see euro dollar is also above the Ichimoku cloud, right? So we should be able to see a nice little bounce from here. That'll take prices all the way up, right? I won't be too confident on playing it too far away. I would probably think that a rise up to this resistance level should be enough. Okay, this will set the tone for the rest of the week. Yeah, this should set the tone for the rest of the week. We should be able to see a nice little bounce on euro dollar, take it all the way up to 1.1252. Okay, in terms of the second support level, we can keep it really safe at this level as a second support level, right? So this is one of the weeks where levels are lining up nicely. DXY is lining up nicely with euro dollar, all right? So that's a good thing for us, hopefully, all right? Man, I wonder why is the video always being so weird though. Let me try to reduce my videos, right? And see if there's any difference. I have no idea. Let me know if you guys are still able to hear me, okay? I'm constantly monitoring the chat, all right? So let me know if you're experiencing any lag. Let me know if you guys are experiencing any lag. I'll just continue first. Okay. Now, so euro dollar bounce, very nice. For pound dollar, right? For pound dollar, we are also expecting a similar bounce from the first support level, as you can see over here. And let's jump over the pound dollar. We can see price has been more or less testing and bouncing from that level quite nicely. So this lines up very nice. You know, if you're expecting a bounce on euro dollar and a drop on dollar index, that means we can similarly expect a bounce on pound dollar. All right, the levels are lining up very nicely, and of course the trend line, right? Trend line is also lining up very nicely for a nice little bounce, right? And price is just also very nicely above the Ichimoku cloud, right? I wouldn't play the bounce too far away. Like I don't think I need to play it all the way here. I think I can just play it all the way to this level. Okay, the video is lagging again. Oh God. Okay, we're back again. I will just continue so we don't do too many sound checks, but I roughly know what's happening. I'll just kind of I'll just give YouTube a little, rather OBS a little bit of a reboot each time. It's very weird because yeah, like I showed you guys, the internet is working perfect, right? But yeah, let me continue. So pound dollar, we should be expecting a bounce from here. Very nice level for us to expect a bounce from. Okay. Yeah, I would think that this bounce is likely to happen. Okay, dollar franc, right? Dollar franc last week we forecasted for prices to rise up to first resistance, test this level, and then drop. Right now it's right at the level, very nice level. Okay, a little bit of descending resistance, kind of like pushing, giving it that momentum to go down, but it's making a pullback to this level over here. Okay, very strong resistance that is making a pullback to. This level happens to be, if I'm not wrong, 23 wait, sorry, 38%. The 30% is slightly higher. It could be testing the 23%. Yeah, it's testing the 23%. So this area, you know, we could see price potentially reverse very nicely, right? First resistance dropping all the way down to here. It's kind of in line with what we're expecting for DXY, the drop, and euro dollar bounce, because remember they are negatively correlated, euro dollar and dollar franc. So if one is expecting a drop, the other one's expecting a bounce, right? Lining up very nicely. I really like this setup. Okay, I really like this setup. Okay, let's move on to dollar yen. Right, so for dollar yen last week, I think we forecasted dollar yen to actually reverse from the first resistance down to the first support, as you can see over here, right? And that actually worked out very nicely. Price reverse down to the first support, touch of support, and bounce up. All right, so very nice setup. Now, I need to teach you guys a thing or two about Elliott wave. Okay, so the reason why I need to do this is because I'm seeing a little bit of a risk here, that price might continue to rise up further. Okay, in terms of Elliott structure, you know, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe even a 5 all the way. Okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that might take prices. Okay, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that might take prices all the way up here. The very reason that price actually bounced from here gives me a little bit more confidence that this could be a wave 4, because wave 4 should not cross into wave 1 territory. So if this is really as it seems, that means dollar yen might be a little bit risky to trade, because it might end up going all the way up to here, right? Mando, yes, you're late, but it's okay, right? It's could be because, you know, there's we are on the new YouTube channel, right? So yeah, it's okay, right? I think a couple of us, our usual crowd, right? They still don't know that we have moved to the new YouTube channel today, okay? But anyway, to highlight over here, you know, we should be expecting. I'm a little bit worried because technically we should be seeing the XY weakness that will push prices down, but a little bit tricky on dollar yen. I would stay out of this trade. Okay, I would stay out of this trade. I mean, we have so many other instruments to trade. But for dollar yen, I'm a little bit worried that it might actually come all the way up to here, right? Dollar yen, I'm actually afraid that price might come all the way to here, because of this Elliott structure, right? It's very strong, right? And even though we're expecting the XY weakness, right, we could actually see dollar yen rise up to here. So I would exercise a little bit of caution, right? Because this movement really looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I exercise caution on this thing. Okay. Now, let's go dollar CAD. Okay, I think we highlighted nothing much on dollar CAD last week, right? So let's take a quick look at dollar CAD. There's not much we can look at for dollar CAD. Yeah, not much levels we can look at for dollar CAD though. So it kind of remains the same. Yeah, kind of remains the same. I think our view on dollar CAD remains the same. A little bit of a bearish descending resistance line, but there is no clear setup for dollar CAD. So I would say, don't try to force a trade if you don't have to. Okay, a lot when trading, an equal amount of money is usually made just by sitting on our hands, right? So um, you don't need to force a trade if there is no trade. There are nicer setups this week. Definitely the movements on DXY, euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar franc, right? Those are the nicer movements this week, right? If you look at dollar CAD, and you draw this as a channel, it is literally in the middle of a channel, right? There's nowhere, it's not like it's at a height over here where you can expect a reversal. But yeah, you're just right smack in the middle of a channel, so a little bit hard to trade dollar franc. Okay, so don't force yourself to take the trade if you don't have to. All right, now I mean for dollar CAD, Aussie dollar, Aussie dollar dropping nicely to the second support. Not much of a view last week, right? This would be the first support down here, and this would be the second support. Probably at the overlap over here. This would be the second support at the overlap. Okay, just testing. Everyone able to see and hear the webinar, right? Just sending this message through just to keep a track on you guys, because I'm every time I see that small little signal come out from YouTube, I'm just really quick to refresh it. So okay, Watson, take a look at NASDAQ in a bit. Okay, let me just take a look. Kiwi dollar, worth a look, right? Kiwi dollar, very nice ascending support. If you're expecting dollar weakness, right, that means a weakness in dollar. That means Kiwi dollar might bounce. Okay, Kiwi dollar might bounce. We see a first support over here. I don't think the first support is that great, honestly, right? So exercise a little bit of caution. But between Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar, I say Kiwi dollar has a slightly nicer setup, and we might be able to see a smaller bounce on Kiwi dollar that could take it all the way up to here. Okay, so that is the only view on Kiwi dollar. Low confidence setup, right? Because I think the Ichimoku is not even giving that clear view. Look at that, right? So it's a little bit of a lower confidence setup for this one. All right, we will need to tackle oil. So as you can see, right, we the move that we call on oil was for it to continue rising up towards the big resistance, overlap resistance over here, right? Oil has continued to rise up very nicely and is reaching our target. Okay, so what can we expect from here, right? This definitely is a very strong first resistance level. All right, because why is it a strong first resistance level? You can see price, bouncing off it. You can see price reacting off it multiple times in the past. No, Paul, gold has not been looked at. Is the next thing we're going to look at right after WTI. Okay, so you can see, yeah, it's clearly a very strong resistance level for us to look at over here. So that means, right, as price is approaching it, yeah, we should be able to see a reaction from it. How low can it go? Okay, for oil, right? It is worth noting that we are in a bearish trend, right? You can see prices making lower highs all the way around. So there's a likelihood that if prices were to come up here, I will wait. I will kind of wait for I'll wait for the first resistance to be reached. right? Remember, in our fundamentals, right, we're saying that with China's slowing economic growth, right, sluggish economic growth, right, it weighs bearish on WTI. So we should be able to see WTI crude oil continuing to drop over the rest of the week. But ideally, we should wait for a nice level to sell from. 82.86 would be key level for us to kind of take the trade from. Okay. Now we go to gold. Gold for gold, right? Let's take a look at gold. Right. I think it worked out quite nicely again, right? Our view on gold last week was for it to drop, right? Well, we're expecting gold to drop down to the first support level. Yeah, we were expecting gold to drop down to the first support level, right? And it has since dropped very, very nicely to reach our first support level. So money in the bag for everyone, right? Congratulations. You can send me whiskey if you want to. Yeah, some of you guys actually sent me whiskey, right? So I really appreciate it, right? Yeah, I kind of accept payment, but I'll accept whiskey, sake, and a good gin, right? Some really nice calls that I've been making over the past few weeks, right? So you know where to send it to. All right. So what do we expect for gold? Definitely, this level remains a key overlap resistance. This remains the support. Hi. Hard to tell though. It's really hard to tell what might happen on gold. It's kinda in the middle. You look at it, right? 1958 is right in the middle of one big resistance and one big support. Okay. I wouldn't I wouldn't have that much confidence to play a bounce from here. Okay. I would have more confidence if price broke this level and rose up to here. Alternatively, right, I'll wait for this level to be broken to trigger the move down to here. Okay, these are the what we call the upside and downside confirmation, right? So this is more like a downside conf, right? And this one here is more like a upside conf. Okay, so kind of need to wait for the levels to be broken to trigger the move up or to trigger the move down. Okay, okay, yeah, trigger the move up or trigger the move down. Okay, to the first resistance or to the to the first resistance or the first support, right? So kind of require confirmation on this. Usually we use the upside and downside confirmation if the levels are not as clear, right? I wouldn't have that much confidence to play another reversal from here because we are seeing quite a bit of nice bullish momentum. This support itself is not nice enough. So I kind of need to wait for price to either break up above the upside confirmation to trigger move up or break below the downside confirmation to trigger the move down. Okay, I think there was a request for NASDAQ, right? Let's take a quick look at NASDAQ. Oh man, NASDAQ has been doing well. But it is at a key overlap resistance, is it? Hard to say. Well, NASDAQ is a tough one, man. I think it's a lot trickier. There's definitely an area of resistance over here, right? Fair bit of resistance that we're seeing there. Price reversed a bit, but it didn't seem to reverse that strongly. What's worth noting is that there's a little bit of a bearish divergence that we're seeing over here. Nice bit of resistance. Nice bit of resistance there. Nice bit of definitely bearish divergence over here. Let me double check this. Yep, is making a lower high. So we could see a reversal. How low could the reversal go? If you're talking about it just for the week, I think over the next few days, seeing a drop down to this first support would be enough already, right? Nice bearish divergence, taking prices down to there. I don't think it's even the 23%. Yeah, 23% is slightly lower. Yeah, but this could happen for the week, right? Second resistance, very clear, you know, up all the way up here. But at least for the first resistance where price might react from, right? We could be seeing potentially this level over here. Nice overlap resistance, nice bearish divergence. It's only because of the bearish divergence that I will have a little bit of confidence to see prices drop to the first support. Okay. Dow Jones, I think not much of a change. Dow Jones also happens to be on a key resistance level over here. So if I have to tweak around these levels a bit, right, continues to be on a nice ascending support level. So, you know, it technically still bullish, right? Technically still bullish, but it's also similarly to the NASDAQ, testing a key resistance level over here. Okay, key resistance level, no divergence on this, right? No divergence on this. Yeah, so we could see a reversal back down to the first support, which I would highlight as this level over here. A bit tricky. Yeah, I will highlight as a key support level. I won't play the move beyond. I won't play the move beyond because of the ascending support, right? But there's a nice bit of resistance here. So we could potentially see a reversal from here to take prices all the way down to here. Okay. Yes, we did cover euro dollar, right? It might be happening because of the lag, but let me update you guys. Euro dollar, right? Similarly to DXY, so they're negatively correlated, right? So euro dollar, DXY testing 61.8 retracement over here, testing a long-term descending resistance line over here, right? Testing a pullback resistance line, right? A lot of bearish signals on DXY to push it down. That means that euro dollar, which is negatively correlated, should be expecting a bounce. We notice that it is on ascending support, right? On a nice pullback support. This level happens to be a 61.8 retracement and between the 38 and 50% retracement. Yeah, and between 38 50% retracement, which should give us the confidence to see a nice little bounce to push prices up to the first resistance over here, right? That is in line with our view on pound dollar, making a small little bounce, right? Also on ascending support, right? Seeing the bounce up to the first resistance, all riding on dollar weakness, right? And dollar franc very nicely kind of testing this level over here. We should be able to expect a reversal back down to 8528. Okay, it's approaching this very, very strong pullback resistance over here, and it's kind of in line with the 23% retracement that we saw. And if I'm not wrong, it could very well be, yeah, there we go, close enough to the 61.8 over there, 61.8 projection, right? So enough reasons why we might see a nice reversal below this level back down to the first support. No worries, Dawson, right? I think YouTube has been a little bit buggy, like randomly restarting my randomly causing things to, yeah, just let me remove this, right? Let me just remove the webcam modes. I'm just leaving it this. I'm seeing, like, I always trying out and see what could be the reason why we're seeing a little bit of lag here and there. Yeah, but dollar weakness for the week, right? I've highlighted to you guys my main calls. DXY dropping, euro dollar bouncing, right? Pound dollar bouncing, and very nicely dollar franc dropping. Not too confident on dollar yen, so please be careful about dollar yen, right? I'm not saying that there's going to be a rise, but there's yeah, there is a, what's the word for it, a little bit of an Elliott wave configuration that might suggest that price go all the way up to here. Okay, so be wary about that. The other setups not so nice. Dollar CAD, Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, not really any nice setups. Gold, you kind of need to wait for confirmation, upside and downside confirmation. If it breaks above here, could rise. Break below here, it could drop. All right, nice move on WTI. I would expect it to strengthen a bit more to the 82.86. before seeing a reversal to take prices all the way down to 73.60, right? Not much of a difference between DAX still at that level, and US 500 right on the key resistance level. I mean the S&P 500. Okay, but yeah, that should be it for our analysis right this week. Let me see if I missed out anything. Right, no pound yen. I think pound yen worked out quite nicely. We called for a reversal on pound yen, right? And I think it worked out very nicely. We can see the reversal did happen for price to drop, and it dropped very nicely, reached its target. Okay, guys. But yeah, so that should be it for our session. Yeah, that should be it for our session, right? I just need to put this over here for you guys, right? Disclaimer at the end. Remember, everything in this webinar is educational nature, so nothing should be construed as investment trading advice. Do your own due diligence before you guys trade. All right, and of course, thank you once again, guys, from IC Markets for tuning in into today's session. I really appreciate it, right? Our Matador, right? You might be tuning in a little bit late, right? Because we just ended our session. Okay, thank you, Yamilu. Thank you, Dawson. Thank you, Paul. All right, thank you all for tuning in. Right. Let's hope that this the forecast work quite nicely, right? Especially the DXY weakness. You can catch Keaton or Peggy in the next 12 hours from now, 12 and a half hours from now, doing the live market analysis, perhaps focusing on the smaller time frames and the key fundamentals for the week instead, right? Thanks for tuning in, wherever you are, however late or however early it is. All right, I really appreciate it as always. Okay, thank you, Lawrence. Right, stay safe, guys. Trade safe. I'll catch you guys in the next session, and I'll try to figure out like what's causing YouTube to randomly like slow things down every 2 minutes. Okay, that's it. That's it for me. Thank you, Modo. Right, I'll catch you guys throughout the rest of the week. Okay, bye bye. Help me smash that thumbs up button if you can, right? It really help us. Okay? Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Yeah. Oh, you can put the heart sign. That's nice. Thank you.